Okay, I'm back, and I think the lighting should be better, and I shouldn't, excuse me, shouldn't look so much, like a troll. That's always a good thing. And those man, I am just tongue tied. Those Dave Smith clips the last time were so short, so I queued up some other stuff I had in my backlog. And basically, what I have now, I don't remember the dude's name. And to be honest with you, I really don't care at this point because whatever. But this dude put out a video called "The LP is Embarrassing?" question mark. And it wasn't entirely a serious video. It was somewhat of a serious video, but it's the type of crap we see all the time. And the funny thing is, to the extent he was serious, it's kind of ironic because the video itself of him trying to show the LP is embarrassing. And yeah, if it's not half a joke, I'm assuming it's half a joke because you'll see. If it was serious, then I really feel bad for this guy. But I'm considering it half a joke. I'm taking it on as half a joke to take a little bit of the piss out of it. And yeah, hopefully we'll just have some fun with it. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. So here we go. If I have this all queued up right.
How I wish there was some other third choice I could vote for instead. Hey, wait a minute. I don't have to fear, because with the Libertarian Party, you don't have to choose between a Democrat or Republican, but rather a non-interventionist and a classical liberalist party instead. Oh boy, I can't wait to see who the candidates are for president. Play the clip!
Should someone have to have a government-issued license to drive a car?
Hell no.
The government requires licenses for far too many things. The government requires licenses for people to broadcast radio. The government requires licenses to get married. They require a license to drive. What's next? Requiring a license to make toast in your own damn toaster? Absolutely not.
The license to drive? You know, I'd like to see some competency exhibited by people before they drive.
Yeah, this sucks.
Okay. Well, I found it amusing. Of course, he had to go back a bit. This is a recent video, okay? If I remember correctly. So he's going back to 2016 rather than doing anything in 2020. But I think he misunderstood things right from the beginning. I mean, certainly we are a non-interventionist party. We certainly have classical liberal members, and we certainly have a lot in common with classical liberalism. But our platform is not a classical liberal platform. It has some elements of it, but classical liberals believed in a little bit more government than our platform calls for, such as public funding of schools, which is not in our platform and is not something the party believes in. So if he had expectations of a strictly classical liberal party, of course he would be disappointed because that's not what we are and don't claim to be. So he can be disappointed all he wants. And it's funny, you pick on the driver's license thing, and there's a reason Gary Johnson got booed, because that is boo-worthy. Though, maybe, Gary just didn't jump in quickly enough with an alternative, because really all he said, so maybe the delegates were a little quick on the draw, but they get quite feisty at convention, as you know, and I believe I was one of those booing in the audience. Okay, guilty as charged. But saying that they weren't booing that he thought that perhaps there should be some test of competency. They were booing because it seemed like he supported that the government needs to issue a license. For one thing, we all know that those driving tests do not show any kind of competency. Let me tell you, when I was getting my driving test, when I was 18, at the time parallel parking was required. I've never been able to parallel park in my whole life, but allegedly you could not get a license if you couldn't. You want to know how I got my license? It was a guy instructor and I cried. I cried, and he felt bad for me, and he gave me my license. Do we really want the government in charge of this if we all agree that some kind of competency is needed, which I think insurance companies would require? There could be a private solution for this. So I would say this was just a lack of imagination on the criticizers' part there. But yeah, if you think, being opposed to governments having to issue a license for every little thing sucks, then the Libertarian Party's not for you, dude. I can't help it if you're disappointed in something that we're not, and I'm not crying on any tears over it either.
May I introduce to you all the porcupine? Yeah, that's right. The Libertarian Party's mascot is the porcupine, and according to the Liberty Warrior, the Libertarian porcupine is a cute and cuddly creature that is defensive when subjected to aggression. It makes an ideal symbol for a movement that espouses the primacy of individual rights and minimum state intervention. Sure, I guess the porcupine invokes that.
Can you share your coin with me? Can I have it? No! Oh, really?
You son of a bitch, learn to share your goddamn food.
No, I thought that last part was funny. I'm gonna keep that clip and use it in some of my other videos. You son of a bitch, learn to share your goddamn food. But, and that's what made me think he's got to be halfway just not serious with this video, because that was cute. That was funny. But it also goes to show, to the extent he was serious, he didn't do any research or really know too much, because now the porcupine actually is our official mascot of a sense. Oh shit, and my computer's about to run out of battery. Let me go get a plug. But at the time of this video, it wasn't. The porcupine had only very recently, and that's through a motion of mine, become our official mascot. Let me go get my plug. If my stream cuts out suddenly, it's because I ran out of juice and didn't realize it. But let's see if we can get this plugged in here. Okay, hopefully this will keep us alive, but if not, you know why. Because this is an aftermarket plug that sometimes doesn't keep up with the power needs when I'm streaming. Sorry. We'll let it charge up if it goes offline, and I'll finish the stream at another, once it charges up a bit. Oh, I'm doing contouring for you guys who don't know. The ladies know. Yeah, we find all kinds of ways to deceive you with makeup. Okay, let's go on to the next one and learn to share your food, you selfish bastard.
Back in 2016, James Weeks, who was running for chairman of the Libertarian Party, dropped out of the race by stripping? If you slow the video down, you can pinpoint the exact moment the Libertarian Party died.
Yeah, everyone likes to point to that. It wasn't our finest moment. I'm not going to defend that whatsoever. But always in reviewing that clip, I'm pretty proud of how many people booed. This is a bunch of libertarians, as you know. So, we can control what people do. I mean, freedom isn't a tame lion, and that means you are going to have people do dumb things, like get on stage and strip. But it's funny that he thought that was the moment that he thought the Libertarian Party died, rather than lying-ass Bill Weld. I would much rather see 10,000 stripping James Weeks than another Bill Weld.
You can't help but feel at least kind of bad for some of the Libertarian Party supporters. Some of them sincerely try and take their party seriously.
I wanted the Libertarian Party to be taken seriously, but the fact that he was able to stand up there for 5 minutes in his underwear was the most ridiculous thing ever. I have read 100 books on this ideology. I have donated a lot of my own money for this party. That was a joke, and I'm going to let everybody here say it was a joke!
Okay. It's funny. You can tell he doesn't know anything about individual libertarians here. He brings forth Charles Parler as the guy, as this is, the Libertarian Party ought to listen to him and be professional like him. And, you got to feel sorry for the party. Some of them, are actually respectable. Okay. This is the guy he's putting forward as more respectable than James Weeks.
Okay, big guy. So first off, I do not have a fucking bowl cut. Second, I'm not some troll. Look, you and I, we know each other. We play our little games going back and forth. I write a nasty article on you. You make a negative post on me. But we need to get something off the ground. I do not have a fucking bowl cut. I have a very nice head of hair. Unlike yourself, it is very full. It is very luscious. And women love stroking their fingers through it. So, look, you can insult me based on my policies. You can insult me based on my character. You do not insult my fucking head of hair. And look, I have been very nice to you. I've always respected your inclusion in the debates. I mean, you had that distinct advantage of not looking like a meth-addled hillbilly and not having killed someone. That made you like an easy runner-up for me in the Libertarian Party primary. But granted, I was a runner-up like by Mount Everest. But look, I like you, dude. Don't insult the hair, though. You can insult me, just not the hair. It's not a bowl cut. Goes back and waves with the wind.
So Charles Bullcut Parler, that's the guy he thinks, was the respectable one at convention. Okay. Whatever floats your boat, dude. I'm not so sure which one was worse. Let's continue.
60 seconds.
Some may ask Feldman, is he that libertarian? I am that libertarian. I'm that be what you want to be libertarian, that you look good on TV libertarian, that Muslim libertarian, that Jew libertarian, that Christian, atheist, Hindu libertarian, that Rothbard libertarian, that Jefferson libertarian. You know I'm not messing libertarian. That LGBTQ libertarian, no sex libertarian, that MLK Jr. Malcolm X libertarian, that revolutionary honor hall Ron Paul libertarian, that Richard Winger Bill Redpath ballot access libertarian, that Daryl W. Perry no apologies anarchist libertarian, that Gary Johnson New Mexico success libertarian, that Austin Peterson freedom ninja in your face libertarian, that John McAfee world-class badass libertarian, that no pain, no gain, get those petitions signed in the rain libertarian, that sorry I'm not sorry libertarian, that can't stand the infringements and abuses libertarian, that right here, right now, no excuses libertarian. I'm that
Mr.
Okay, it's gonna move to the next scene there. Yeah, there we go. I didn't clip it out quick enough. Now that isn't a clip that was on that guy's video. I just decided to share that because if we're gonna relive the best moments of the 2016 convention, that was fantastic. And I truly, truly miss Dr. Feldman. And what's funny is before that convention, he and I really didn't get along. And that's to put it very mildly. But I really got to know him then. And it's very sad to me that right after getting to know him and learning to love him, that he was taken from us so soon. But I felt like I just had to play that. But it also showed what this guy in his video just isn't getting. We're diverse. Yeah, he's that libertarian. There's a lot of us. And that's the beauty of freedom. We're so different. And if you find that embarrassing, bangoo.
When Austin Peterson was arguing that a child shouldn't be able to buy heroin, his own party just booed at him.
That being said, at the state level, I would support some legislation that would stop children from being allowed to purchase drugs, and and prosecute anyone who would put a child in danger, because I do believe the children do need some protection. Yes, you should not be able to sell heroin to a 5-year-old.
As funny as this clip is, it really boggles the mind more than anything, just due to how bizarre the party is.
Yeah, we're a bit bizarre, and we like it that way, but I don't think you can take that clip altogether seriously. I think they were just taking the piss out of Austin. Really, you talk to party members, I don't think anyone wants to be selling heroin to children. They were triggered a bit by his saying laws. Libertarians always will be. But I think they were just fucking with Austin, which makes it even funnier because that look he got when he got booed for that was just, it was delicious. So, okay, I'll give him that one. If you take that seriously, that is pretty cringe, but I don't take it seriously. I was there. It wasn't meant to be taken seriously.
Daryl Perry ran for the nomination in 2016 and introduced some interesting metaphors involving tomatoes when it came to the debate stage.
I read statutes for fun, and so far I have yet to find the word tomato in any statute. But I don't think anybody here would say that tomatoes are not legal. I think that every substance, whether it be cannabis or crystal meth, should be absolutely as legal as tomatoes. There should not be any regulations on how much you buy, grow, sell, possess, consume, sell to your neighbor, give to your neighbor, throw in the air to land on the ground, wherever it may be. No regulations. Everything should be as legal as tomatoes.
Something is obviously wrong with this dude, but something about him is so awesome.
Von Nothaus to go to prison for competition with the Fed, and then we can end the Fed.
Yeah. Woo!
And I believe that was a felony.
Okay, no, nothing is wrong with Daryl. Daryl's a very cool guy. I, in fact, gave the nomination speech for Daryl proudly at that convention. He's quite intense, that's for sure. He's a hardcore anarchist, but there's nothing wrong with him, and I guarantee he's 10 times smarter than the guy doing this video. Daryl is one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. And if he wants to be making fun of appearances, well, I think that just shows a shallowness of character and that there's obviously something wrong with the person doing that. Daryl is fantastic. I don't like the tomato analogy, though, to be honest with you. I did think the tomato analogy was kind of cringe. It didn't make any sense. Like, it was trying too hard. But other than that, frickin' Daryl's the bomb.
Josh Smith is child abandoner and
hey! I will mute those mics. If you guys can't respect, you cannot abuse your ability to speak over everybody else like that. Okay?
Yeah.
Dude, he just shut them down.
Okay, so that's so he should have. That guy was abusing his ability and he was violating decorum. You don't do shit like that. Good for Alex, man. Like, how is that on an embarrassing video? Somebody gets out of line on the mic and the chair shuts them down. But I figured this was a great opportunity to share everyone's favorite Alex meme from that convention. I just love it. Poor Alex. Oh my God. Oh, that was wonderful. His hair, and it isn't a bowl cut, Charles, but his hair just went nutty.
Since most of the convention took place on live Zoom calls, the hilarity and technical difficulties that ensued were pretty marbling.
I'm Elijah Boyd, delegation chair from the great state of Alabama, the heart of Dixie, where we dare defend our rights. The Gators are hungry, Epstein didn't kill himself, and Jeff Sessions sucks.
Like, okay, need to go. Oh, it didn't go big. Okay, that's fine. We'll just leave it little like this. What was so hilarious about that? Like, there's so much of this video was just try too hard. If you gotta try to find clips that are embarrassing from the Libertarian Party, then that's pretty sad because it's not that difficult because we're funny. We're a lot of fun. Was it, if I had to guess, what, because he stumbled over a word? Like, you never do that? That's easy to do. I'm hoping it isn't the completely juvenile where he stumbled over the word Dixie. Dixie, he said dick. Is that it? I don't get it. What was so wrong with that? That was perfectly fine. Dude, man. Okay, now we go to the next one.
I think 2020 truly speaks volumes about the current situation within the United States, since this election year, Vermin Supreme chose to actually take this run seriously, arguing that reality is stranger than what any type of satire would present. I'll be the first one to admit, it's actually fairly remarkable to see Vermin Supreme talk actual policy, instead of making a mockery of American public affairs.
This is for the kids. Kids are naturally anti-authoritarians, they are naturally nonconformists, and they naturally love humor. Kids want to change the world, and that is what kids and libertarians have in common. And I say if the kids don't learn about libertarianism from libertarians, they will be hearing about it from the socialists. These are scary times to be a kid, and we must present our vision for a transition to a post-state world. We need to explain how we will alleviate the suffering as we pull the rug of government out from under them in a way that makes sense. We must be able to demonstrate that we are a party of love and compassion and caring. I believe that we are, and I believe that we can.
Okay, I don't know how
I leave you with one last gift. You are very welcome.
Oh, here we go.
Really care if you're illegal or not. Straight conservatives beware. We about to shake up this whole place. Democracy scared. Our economic policies are straight up blazing fair. Modern party here. Libertarians, the only party that's not insane.
We're not insane.
Moderates, vote us for that. We're middle ground. We're middle ground. But we look really sexy in these days. Libertarian style.
Okay, so yeah, if that to you is the reasons you think the LP is embarrassing, yeah, go find yourself a home with Orange Cheeto and dudes who stormed the Capitol in a Viking hat. I mean, maybe that's more to your taste, or if you're more to the left, you know, a guy who's obviously got elected president and is obviously in the early stages of Alzheimer's, that's not embarrassing at all. Not whatsoever. If being with a fun group of people that, you know, really celebrates their diversity and freedom is embarrassing, don't know what to tell you, dude. Don't let the door hit you where the good yard split you. That's, I guess, all I can say. Yeah, there was but I have to say, dude, I am severely disappointed that I was not included in the embarrassing clips. I like to think that I am at least mildly embarrassing. And I was at the 2016 convention, and it was filmed. And it wasn't included. Let me see if I've got that clip. Let me roast myself a little bit.
The last name to be placed in nomination for Vice Presidency of the United States of America, Mr. Will Coley.
Okay, my name's Karen Ann Harlos. You all have heard from me before when I was endorsing Darryl Perry. And I was asked just a few moments ago, actually, if I'd be willing to speak for Will Coley. And I said, sure. So this is not going to be nearly as prepared as last time, and I'm certainly not as professionally dressed as before, but I think that this really reflects on us as libertarians, that we can do things on the spot and be both formal and informal. And I don't think our party is about respectability politics, so I do not mind that I'm up here in jeans and a t-shirt. Now, first thing I would like to say is, even though I had endorsed somebody else, we all need to get behind Governor Johnson. He is our nominee, and we need to move this party forward. And I would like to say something about Governor Johnson that I've respected extraordinarily much, is in his campaign he has conducted it with class. And that is something that I greatly respect. Now, Gary spoke before, and unfortunately I might have to say some things that are a little bit critical, not necessarily of Governor Johnson, but of things that are of great concern to me. Gary spoke about representing us all and asked for us to choose his particular vice presidential nominee. But as you know, as libertarians, we select these separately, and we don't necessarily have to take his choice. And he said he wanted to represent us all, but I respectfully say that his choice does not represent us all, and it is going to exclude some of us. And what I ask of all of you, and I would say the person that would accomplish this most is Will Coley, but I ask of all of you, do not split us. Do not split us the way Trump and Hillary have split their parties. Make sure that if you're going to, select a vice presidential candidate, that one person will then represent the rest of us that maybe are not necessarily feeling represented. We do have a wide variety and diversity of views here. I make no bones about it that I come from the libertarian wing of the Libertarian Party, and I want to see us also represented here. And I think Governor Johnson will do some marvelous things for us, and he presents some more pragmatic side. But I ask that you balance out this ticket with someone that will represent the rest of us and not split the party activist base. Now, as far as some of my criticisms, and I hope mean this not with incredible disrespect, but out of a love I have for this party. Gary Johnson's nominee, or selected, he would like to be our vice presidential nominee, just joined this party. And I haven't been with this party a great deal of time, but I can tell you when I first joined, I was asked to do things for the Libertarian Party of Colorado. And I declined. I said, I have not yet paid my dues. I do not yet know the culture of this party. And we're talking about someone who just read our platform. I had for myself a minimum of a year in this party of going out and doing outreach booths and volunteer efforts and put in my dues before I would ask for people to give me some kind of position. And I don't think we should be doing this for one of our highest office, and I hope this is coming across with respect and just out of passion and love. Now, Gary also spoke about we're trusting him to get the message out, and we do need to trust him. But there will be two people to do this. So let's balance this out with someone who will know some of the other aspects of our message that we can really trust both of them. And Gary also spoke about who will get media attention, and unfortunately he spoke about the problems where Judge Gray that one time did not get the media attention. Well, I think Will Coley can do this. He represents an underrepresented segment of our population. He could reach the Muslim community that has felt disenfranchised by the two major parties, and I think that this would be phenomenal for our party. John McAfee spoke about there being a lack of women and minorities. Well, I believe that Will Coley can also reach some underrepresented areas. So I asked you yesterday for Darrell to stick close to principles, and I recited to you our party statement of principles, and I ask that you all bring that to mind, that you stick close to principles, and to run with Governor Johnson, that you would pick somebody who really, really sticks close to principles and keep our party base, keep us from in our roots and where we know where we came from. And I'm sorry this wasn't as polished as my other one, but I hope that I've spoke from my heart and that you will represent us all in your choices. We select our vice presidential nominees separately. I ask that you choose Will Coley or someone that has also dedicated the time to this party and didn't just read our platform 2 weeks ago. Thank you.
Now, come on. I deserve to be in an embarrassing clip, right? The pink hair, the crown, something? Disappointed. So disappointed. I mean, I keep hearing my pink hair is why we don't win. Hold on, I need to get this eyeliner on. Oh, shit. Okay. Well, set that down for a second. So, yeah, that was it for my little backlog of clips I needed to do. I wanted to do that LP is embarrassing thing. I'm going to be going on again later tonight. I'm not sure if I'll do something historical. I might. I've got some material where I wanted to highlight some quotes of Justin Amash. If you remember back maybe a month, well, it was before the election. So maybe it was late October where Trump had foolishly said on Twitter something like, "Thank you, libertarians." Like basically he was acting like he was the libertarian hero. And Justin Amash really took the piss out of him on Twitter with a list of showing how expressly anti-libertarian Trump could be. And I wanted to make sure that that was memorialized somewhere on my channel. So I'm going to be going through, I'm going to re-show you guys that tweet by Trump, right? And go through Justin Amash's points. So maybe I'll do that later. We shall see. But other than that, I'm going to finish up my makeup and I will see you all later. Bye-bye.
You gotta take what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in the business.